Hey y'all, hey, did you miss me? I missed y'all. I know it has been maybe 2, 3 weeks since I did a homeschool confession, so I have so much to talk about, so much to tell you. Okay, not so much, but I got some things to tell y'all. Ignore this green cloth behind me. We're doing some things to our office, and so that's why that's up. But ignore that. I'm here to talk about homeschool. All right, so I haven't done homeschool confessions in, like I said, I think like 2 or 3 weeks. And again, I do apologize for that. But if anybody else who watches my channel know that I am a mom, and if you are a mom, you know that sometimes life gets crazy. Like y'all probably can hear my son in the hallway yelling and screaming right now. Ignore it. Anyway. So for homeschool confessions, I have a couple things to talk about. First thing, I want to say we have finished 6 weeks of homeschool so far this year. Yes, now some may not feel as if that's a big accomplishment, but hey, I celebrate small and big ones. So this is as you all know, this is our second year homeschooling, and thus far we have completed 6 weeks of homeschool. Now, the reason why I'm so excited about that is because this week, which would be technically week 7, is our week off. And this is something that I started and implemented this week. I'm sorry, not this week. Something I started and implemented this year. So last year, I found myself week to week, trying to plan things, trying to check work and go through her curriculum and just make changes and adjustments, and oh god, just doing so much to the point where I felt burnt out. By the time we got to November, I was burnt out. I didn't want to do anything else pertaining to homeschool. I didn't want to teach it. I didn't want to help her. I didn't want to do anything. I was completely just burnt out and just didn't want to be bothered. And so November, we end up taking almost a whole month off because I was so burnt out. And I'm pretty sure she was too, my daughter. So this year, one of the things that I wanted to implement was for us to take breaks. Again, y'all know I'm bad with names. I wish I could remember. I need to start writing down names and the stuff where I be getting these things, because these other moms and these other homeschool moms that I get these ideas and get these different things from, they be helping me. So I'm pretty sure they can help y'all too. But I'm going to try to find out who she was and link her in the description box. But one of the things she said she did and this is when I went to a homeschool conference online. I'll also link that as well. I went to a homeschool conference online, and I went to this session, and this mom, she said that what she does is she does 6 weeks on, a week off, 6 weeks on, a week off. And I was like, dang, why did I not think of that? And so when I realized that when she said that, I'm like, okay, for sure, I'm doing that next year. And so that's what we're doing this year. We are doing 6 weeks of instructional time, a week off. And that week off for us looks as if the only thing that we're just, it's a week off. We just chilling, we hanging out, we might be going places, going to see things, explore more, spending more days at the park. Of course, she still does her daily reading. She still practices her languages. But other than that, that's it. All right. And so that's what we've been doing. That also, our week off also allows or gives me chance to catch up on any type of papers or anything that I need to grade for her. It also allows me to look at what's coming up the next week and get ready and prepared for that. And also print anything that needs to be printed or get the materials that she needs if anything extra is needed for the things that she'll be doing without the week. So that break is not only for me, but it's also for her. It gives her time to just relax and be a kid and, do some of the things she enjoys doing, even if that, means just laying around the house, just being her. Yes, we homeschool, but I feel like everything we do day to day is a learning opportunity for her. So it's not even really the homeschool, it's more like life experiences. So this week she wanted to go to the bank, and so had that a whole experience, which I should have blogged that, but I didn't, where she learned how to fill out her own bank slips to be able to deposit money. That is a learning experience. We did that this week on our week off. That's a learning experience. That's homeschool. That's a life experience. And so so that's what we did this week. And like I said, I'm so proud of myself. Like every time I hit a mile mark in homeschool, I celebrate it, because it's something to celebrate, especially coming from my background of being in public school and not knowing what I was doing going into this homeschool journey. Second thing that I wanted to talk about. So every week, Amir and I have conversations about what she's learning, what she's doing, and how she's feeling about homeschool. And so it wasn't this week or last week. I think it was the week before. She told me that she felt as if she wasn't getting enough time or enough lessons on her Swahili. And so last year, Amir, we chose to do Swahili as her language, as one of the languages that she learned. We chose to do Swahili. But this year she decided that she wanted to do cursive handwriting, and she also wanted to do sign language. And so the way that I had the schedule set up this year was she would do sign language and handwriting Monday through Thursday, and then Friday she would do an hour of Swahili. Well, she came to me and told me that she felt as if, she's grasping the cursive handwriting and the sign language fairly quickly, but she feels like she's lacking in Swahili, and she wants more time. She wants more practice. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, and I, put the ball back in her court. How often or how much more do you feel you need? And she was like, no, I asked her, what does she think we can do to fix that, or to help her with that? And she said she thinks she needs more time. And so put the ball back in her court. I said, okay, so how much more time do you need, or what do you want to add more days? Do you want to add more time on Friday? Like, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to add more days. So I'm like, okay, again, pushing it back to her. What days do you want to add? And she was like, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was like, okay, so the way that we're going to do it now is Monday through Thursday we're doing handwriting and sign language, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday we would do your Swahili. She was like, yes. I'm like, that works. Cool beans, no problem. We can do that. And so that's what I've been doing. So in me using Lesson Track, yes, I use Lesson Track. Y'all go watch my video on Lesson Track. I love Lesson Track. Y'all should love it too. Like, it's such a big help. But so I just go into Lesson Track. I add Swahili to her Tuesday and Thursdays, and that's what we're going to be doing until she feels, or until she says that that's not working. We need to do something else. And if it does work for her, it continues to work. So what I want you guys to take away from that is allow, depending on their age. So of course, younger kids, it's going to be hard for them to have a big input or a say so on what they're learning and how they're learning and all that jazz. But when it comes to kids at a certain age, like Amir is 11, when it comes to certain kids at a certain age, allow them to have a say so. Allow them to have a voice within their curriculum and what they're learning, how they're learning, and how much of it they're learning. If they're telling you that they need more, give them more. If they're telling you that they're feeling overwhelmed or it's becoming too much, then look at what you're doing and readjust it, right? So that takes me into my third thing. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing but stone. Nothing is set in stone. So no matter what it is, it can be changed. If it's not working for you, if it's not working for your children, if it's not working for your household, then change it. It's not set in stone. Like, there's no point of beating a dead horse. There's no point of just trying to do something over and over and over, and you know that it's not working. You know that you're becoming burnt out, and you know that your children are becoming frustrated. There's no point in continuing to do that. So why not change it to make it better? It may be something simple, just tweaking it just a little bit to make it better. And if that doesn't work, change it again. It's all about finding your groove and what works, right? Because if your children were if you're in public school, right, a child can come to a teacher and say they need more help on this, we need help on that. the teacher may or may not try to help that child in that area, whatever they're struggling, or do something different to help that child. And again, they may not. And so that child is stuck, left there, trying to figure it out, or trying to do double the homework or extra work, trying to figure out how to do what they're doing or what they're trying to figure out, what they're struggling with, right? Well, with homeschool, like, I feel like the one-on-one time that my daughter has with me, that allows us that flexibility to be able to focus on her weaknesses and help grow her strengths and just figure out what works for us. And so, yeah, like those are that's basically it. That's my homeschool confessions for this week. Again, like, take breaks when needed. Take breaks when needed. As long as because you can always pick up an extra day in the week depending on your schedule. You can always homeschool on a Saturday depending on your schedule. But if you need breaks, take your breaks. Do not try to cram something into something so big into a small, tight space, if that makes sense. Like, take your breaks when you need them. It's okay. It's going to be okay, right? You have all the time in the world to make those days up, or to rearrange or readjust or move something to the side. But if you yourself are feeling like you're becoming frustrated or overwhelmed, or you feel that your child is feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, maybe both of y'all are frustrated and overwhelmed, please take a break. 2, allow them to have a voice. Help them to grow that voice. It starts with you. It starts with at home. Like, if your child comes to you, and of course, I believe that if a child has an issue with something, they're going to not disrespect, not with, any type of malice, not having an attitude or whatever. Just simply, I need more of this, or I'm doing too much of this, and change it. It's just simply that. Allow them to have that voice. Don't let it be, this is what I said you're going to do. This is the schedule we're going to do, and this is how it's going to be. Like, no. Then if that's the case, we might as well keep them in the box of being in public school. If you're choosing to homeschool, or even if you are in public school, your children are in public school, right? And your child is coming to you and saying that they need extra help with ABC, XYZ, whatever, right? And take the time to talk to the teacher and find out what can be done. Like, what my child has come to me and saying, and his or her grades are reflecting this, but my child is coming to me and telling me that they're struggling in this area. So what can we do at home, or how can I work with you, the teacher, to fix that? Allow them to have that voice. Allow them to speak up. Allow them to be able to have a say-so. That's very important, and it's going to teach them how to speak up for themselves in other situations and other areas of their life as they get older. And the last thing, if it don't work, change it. Change it today, change it tomorrow, change it next week, change it next month. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, fix it, change it. For you and your family, for your mental sake. Like, change it. It does not have to stay one way. And I gotta say, that was the first thing I learned in homeschool. When I planned out our homeschool and realized it wasn't working, I tried so hard to try to make it work. And I realized this isn't working for us. Like, after taking the break, I made changes so that it ran a little bit smoother. And this year is even smoother than last year. Like, I'm so scared. Like, I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, what's going to happen? Like, this year is running too smooth. It's just running too smooth. Like, what's going to happen? What hiccup or what bump are we going to hit? I'm not hoping that we do have one, but I'm, like, prepared, like, trying to figure out. But yeah, those would be my 3 things. Take a break when you need to, mama or dad. Take a break. Allow your child to have a voice. It helps to grow their voices, and it helps them to be able to speak up for themselves as they get older and in different situations and in other situations that they may or may not go through in their life. And thirdly, if it doesn't work for you and your family, change it. I hope this video and I hope this homeschool confession has been helpful for you guys, either in homeschool or public school moms and dads, whichever. I support you both, either or. I'm not trying to bash anyone who has their children in public school, because I am a product of public school. But yeah, I most definitely hope that this helped. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions, anything you want to share with me, of course, leave your comment below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get your notifications on all of my homeschool confessions. It's been lovely chatting with y'all. Peace and love. Later, loves.